This is the Rick and Morty portal gun that I made for Halloween this year. Quick rundown of the components. I just built the box itself out of wood, some hobby wood. On the top here, I actually have a glass dome that I got at the craft store. This is something that will just allow. It's just called a glass dome. You just got to go to the hobby store and ask for it, or look for it like in the display case type stuff. The globe in there is just a. It's just a dollar store toy ball, and there was some fluid in there, and I just emptied it out. And then I also put glitter around the glass dome with some glue to kind of make it stick. And then I also glued it on with some super glue to kind of make it stick on there. So it's pretty solid on there. It's not going anywhere. So yeah, the construction worked quite well. With the handle, I actually drilled in to a wood block and then attached the wood block to the frame of the box. And my scrubber brush handle that I cut off with a hacksaw, and then I put a block of wood in, and then I drilled in a machine screw with a pre-cut, with a drill, and then I also drilled in the size of the head of the nail too, or the screw too, so that it wouldn't crack anything, and it just attached right to the block of wood. It's a little wobbly, but not much. I put an Adreno in there, kind of have my list of stuff so I don't forget anything. I had an OSEPP LCD shield that I just plopped on top of the Adreno, which I didn't really like, honestly, because it made everything fat, but that's all I could find. I had two potentiometers, one to change the message that the LCD is showing, and then also one for the brightness on the bottom here. So you can see the LED is kind of turning down. I also put a switch in to power it on and off so that it actually lasts longer. And this was a good... At first I didn't have it in there, but I added it after the first night of partying because my battery went down about after 3 hours or so. And now that I've had this switch on there, this is about a week after Halloween, and this thing's still got about 3/4 battery, as you can see there. I added a button to just kind of make it a little bit more fun, so when I press it, it does a different animation with the front stuff. The only issue I could not figure out is when I depress this button, I'm not sure if something's wrong with the button or not, but it doesn't shut off right away. Kind of have to play with it, and it eventually will. So past that, at one point while I was building this, let me flip this over. I kind of fried the voltage pin, and so I kind of converted to a USB thing where I kind of dismembered a USB plug that I wasn't using anymore, and then connected it to the switch. The potentiometers go directly into the digital side. And the one crappy thing about this shield that they had is these pins didn't match up. That's why I really didn't like this one at all. So the fourth pin on this is actually connected to the third pulse width modulation digital pin on this one. So you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the third one is actually on, the fourth pin up here. So it's really confusing. And I have this one right here connected to the button over there. And so the pulse width modulation third pin had to go to the LEDs, and they're an Adafruit NeoPixel strip, just one strip. So because I can only use one pin, I was trying to use multiple LEDs at one point, but it wasn't. Obviously there wasn't enough pins, so I was like, I got to do something else. And thankfully, I just had some of those on hand, so I was able to get that together. I'll post the code online, but I guess the only other thing is I just used regular paint for up here. I glued the outside because I used all-purpose joint compound for the handle. The handle was definitely the hardest part of this thing to build, and what took the longest. All this stuff having drying time. You can see on the top it looks okay, but you can see down below all these cracks and stuff. The drying time took the longest on this project for sure. Like I thought I could just use a joint compound, and at one point it had cracked and everything had just gone away. So I glued it back together, and then I put glue over the entire surface of this thing, and then I put on top a layer of spray paint to make it kind of shiny, whatever. Honestly, that night for Halloween, nobody was really giving a crap what it kind of looked like. So all these scratches and stuff, nobody really cared about. They saw the lights, they saw my costume. For the most part, if I had to do anything different, instead of this joint compound stuff, I probably would have used like this plastic molding stuff that I've seen online, because it would be just a little bit more, a little easier to mold onto this thing.